It's fundamentally an invention that can help us all do research, learn more, communicate more, sift through data better. And its uses are almost ubiquitous in medicine, in drug discovery, in diagnosing diseases, in scrambling the resources of, say, the Red Cross or others in a disaster to find those who are most vulnerable, where buildings have collapsed.
Like data crunching, essentially.
That's one part of it. It identifies patterns in data that may be difficult for humans to access, but in a sense, it's going to impact all of our lives in a multiple of different ways. So think about it as the next step in our ability to learn, communicate, express ourselves.
But what should American consumers know about artificial intelligence?
It's a co-pilot, if you will, to help us do things. I think one good thing for everyone to know is it's already part of our lives. If you have a Roomba at home, it finds its way around your kitchen, using artificial intelligence to learn what to bump into and how to get around it. So it isn't necessarily as mysterious as we sometimes think. And yet at the same time, it is getting more powerful. It can do much more to help us. And I think the other thing that all of us should think about as Americans is, like any powerful technology, we need to keep it under human control. We need to keep it safe. And that will require the work of companies that create it, that use it. It will require, I think, a level of law and regulation as well.
You just made a big jump from a Roomba.
Yes, I did.
To, the machine takeover here. I mean, when you say that you have to make sure humanity is in control here, is there really a risk that it won't be?
Whenever you have something that fundamentally can do good but could also go and do harm, you put a braking mechanism in place. You put a safety brake, an emergency brake. We should think about AI the same way.
What's the most promising concept you've seen?
Well, I do love these examples where AI can detect a disease, a form of cancer, before the human eye or other human doctors might. You take something like pancreatic cancer. It is so small when it begins that typically it's undetectable to the human eyes of doctors. And yet AI is very good at sifting through patterns and detecting things and flagging them.
So what's the next interface that people should expect?
Think of the ability to, in effect, tell a computer what you want it to do. You don't need to learn to code. You can simply say, can you go find information about whether this restaurant is open on Monday nights, and if so, does it take reservations, and how do I make one? You can write that in one sentence and get all of the information back. You no longer have to spend your time clicking on links and finding answers. Take that example and generalize further. You want help, you have writer's block, you've got to write a memo, you need to sift through your email, you want to create a PowerPoint slide. You can tell a computer what you want it to do. As I say, we create what we call a co-pilot. You don't have to know how to do everything. You just have to know what you want done and how to ask for it.
The information's accurate.
I do think that it's in part based on using your brain. I've often found in the world of technology, if something doesn't sound right, you should double check. That will still be true.